Hello everyone, welcome to Ultimate Diecast. My name's Tyrone and this is DelPrado. There were 70 cars released in 1999. I'll be showing you the last 10. I've already done 6 videos on this and this is the 7th and final in the series. DelPrado released these, did I tell you? 1999. Starting with this one of today's Mazda RX-7. And as always, I'll read out my waking thoughts on who may or may not have owned this car. What can I tell you about this one? 5.3 seconds it took to get to 100 clicks per hour. Quite a light vehicle, 1.3 tonne for the upmarket one with the bigger engine. Rear wheel drive, 5-speed manual. And who owned this one? Weekend Warrior, of course. It's that working class fella, or maybe gal, who threw all of their money at their car, and then every weekend we're either out in it or finding parts for it. Not that the Japanese version of the Weekend Warrior car owner really had many reliability problems. It's more of a pretty much everything else there. But the little rice burners were known for their reliability. Number 62, the Volkswagen Golf GTI. This one in white. I show it in, well, the card shows it in red and black. But here we have white with slightly skewer rear view mirrors. I never needed to know what was behind you once you've passed them. Fairly sluggish. 1 to 100, anything between 7.5 and 9.7 seconds, obviously depending on your engine. Came in 1.8 or 2.8. Little V6, the 2.8. What else? Top speed 191 or 225 kilometers per hour. I'm sure it rattled like a bugger too, but lovely, clean little car. Crisp in white. Who owned that? Boy Racer. Did they? I'm sure Boy Racer owned the Mazda as well. I'm sure Boy Racer might have owned about half a dozen of the ones I'm going to show you today. Number 63. Maybe the Italian Boy Racer version owned the Alfa Romeo 156. 7 seconds or 10.5 seconds, maybe not. Transverse 4 was the engine. 10.5 seconds, gee whiz. You wouldn't bother, would you? 5-speed manual in a V6 6-cylinder 2.5 litre V6 diesel. Yeah, maybe not Boy Racer. Who owned this? People who don't mind breaking down for style. Yeah, fair enough. Alfa Romeo was not known for reliability, maybe style, but yeah. Number 64, Renault Dauphine. Oh, did I say something rude about this one? People who don't mind the car not starting for style. Yeah, okay. Again, reliability, not one of the ticks in the plus column. For Renault of the era, total production unknown. Acceleration 0 to 100 in 38 seconds. That's if it started. 115 k's an hour was top speed. Poor thing. I'm sure it was lovely. It had 31 brake horsepower. Rear wheel drive. That was all kinds of wrong, wasn't it? Cute little thing though. Number 65, where are you? Step forward. A Peugeot 404. Oh, I know who owned this. Not this exact make or model, but this is strangely heavy as well. The French version of my Nan. My grandmother had the English version of this in the Austin Cambridge. She had a black one, and this really reminds me of that. Different car, different maker, different country. But yeah, my nan had a black Austin Cambridge in New Zealand, and the myth or legend was, I never actually saw it move. It was in the barn. She lived on a farm. But the myth or legend around it was when my dad was a boy, my nan used to drive this into town with him in it, and if he misbehaved in any way, he'd have to walk home in front of the car. And after a few miles, maybe with exaggeration, she would yell out the window, "If you get sick of walking, start running." But they were built different back then, weren't they? People and cars. Total production of this one, 2.7 million. Really? And I'd never seen one before I got this DelPrado set in my little hands. Not much in the way of engine. 1.6 petrol, 1.8 diesel, or almost 2000 cc. I'm guessing that's a diesel as well. Rear wheel drive again. And just over a tonne. Feels like that in my hands. Number 66, the Lancia Delta. What is that? It's looking for a red one. It is white. Don't know a lot about Lancia. It's one of those brands that didn't quite make it down my way. Or if they did, certainly not in big numbers. 0 to 100 in 5.7 seconds. Pretty zippy. Top speed 220 kilometers per hour, in brackets Group A with a question mark. Who knows how fast the Group A version was. Maximum power almost 300 horsepower for the Group A and 200 for the street version as well. So no slouch. Who owns this? Loner / niche dweller. I suppose in Australia or in New Zealand you would have to be a loner / niche dweller to even find one for sale, let alone buy one or own one. So that was that. Number 67, as we move very quickly towards the end of this series. Who owned this? Onearmed Bandit. Not a poker machine at the casino. That's referring to I nicknamed my driver a one-armed bandit, not because he had one arm, but because he refused to drive with both arms. I went to Dubai on the way to Europe once, and we got a desert safari, and the guy pulled up in not a model like this, a model more like this, pretty much the same colour too, at our hotel, and took us into the desert for a Bedouin barbecue basically. But there was a big old driving over the dunes thing, but for about half an hour we were driving over blind crests and going down awkwardly the other side in the sand in the heat, and he was on his phone yapping away. So wasn't important enough to drive with both hands, so I nicknamed him our one-armed bandit. I'd like to say he was a nice enough fella, but he didn't speak to us. But that's Dubai for you. Number 68. Do we have a car? Gee whiz, it's the Mazda MX-5. I was going to put hairdresser, but I didn't. Who owned this car? A 30-something who wants to be a 20-something. Yeah, that's right. Maybe I should have gone with hairdresser. But yeah, I was 40-something and wanted to be younger. Not in one of these, but in a Nissan Z 370Z. But yeah, it's definitely hanging on to the youth feel, isn't it? Yeah, lovely little car. That was number 68. It still is in production, isn't it? 8.2 seconds to 100 clicks, 170 k's an hour, only 900 kilos. Light and little. It's a nice car. So that is the Mazda for our hairdresser buddies. Number 69, almost forget to bring on the car. Second to last one of this series is the BMW X5. Who did own this car? And almost their executive, yeah. I suppose soccer mum as well. Almost their executive, probably. So that's 69. Still in production, is it? Maybe 7.5 seconds to 100, up to 230 kilometers per hour. That's an almost their executive in a hurry. Front-mounted V8 engine, 4.4 litre. 5-speed auto with manual control. That must be like the Sportronic. Everything's got Sportronic in it, hasn't it now? If it's an automatic, you can shove it across and then chop up or down. Yeah, that's nice. And last but not least, number 70 of 70 for the 1999 release DelPrado 143 scale is the Nissan Skyline GTR. Let's put all of us out of our misery. Who owned this? Oh, if the Weekend Warrior owned the RX-7, this is the Weekend Warrior with a bigger budget. These are always more expensive, aren't they? Especially the GTR version. In the Nissan, 5.2 seconds, pretty quick. Top speed 250, probably speed limited. 1.665 ton, and 6-speed manual limited slip diff. Yeah, that's a nice way to end. That was a long series, wasn't it? 7 videos. I hope you stayed throughout and didn't get too bored or confused by my silly ramblings. There it is, number 70 of 70. Hope you enjoyed this string of videos. Like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you for something a little more normal next time. Bye.